Our next type of constructor is called a complete programmer defined constructor. And it means just that the programmer is allowing us to, frankly, set values for every single accessible data member. You're probably going, what the hell does that mean? I hear you. So in this example that you see with student, I am enabling the user or whatever people that are using the software to go ahead and edit test 1, test 2, and test 3 as soon as they want to create an instance of, again, Hardy. Hardy's going to get 57, 75, and 80. Now, from the previous video there, like, wait a minute, where the heck did average go from? Well, does we want to directly set the average for an instance? Can't we just use these numbers that we have right here to then have it go ahead and determine? I really don't want to give somebody the or the ability to go ahead and directly edit it. That'd be like Hardy getting these values and then his average is 100. So it's still a complete programmer defined, but there might be some hidden because of, frankly, the way it should be, that, hey, they can't directly manipulate it right off the bat. Let's have a function that calculates the actual average so somebody doesn't get greedy and has a direct access to it, okay? So that's a thought process behind this. But let's pretend that we did have a student that literally all it was 3 test scores. There it would be. Notice again, the order is really important. That's going to be Hardy's first test. That's going to be Hardy's second. The order matters to this, so pay particular attention to that when we get to this. Now, for employee, there's nothing in there that's really meant to be shadowy or hidden or in some type of information hiding. There's nothing like that. So I want you to move on to completing the same thing for employee, and again, it needs to be all of the data members within employee that we will be able to go ahead and set right off the bat. Now again, that's shortening some time for us in the long run, even though it's some work at the beginning of it, I know. But in the long run, it's going to make things a little bit easier for us in usage. So go ahead and work on that one. Again, I'm going to show you another answer here in a minute, and we'll go from there. Here's our solution for this one. Now, I have these crossed out, but honestly, they're still going to be there. But I wanted to have you focus on the actual answer itself, which is the one below it. So notice, doesn't it look pretty similar to the one just above it? And yeah, that's because it's the way it's supposed to be. There's going to be, again, notice the name is exactly the same between the two. Both of them are called employee, but I know which one I'm using because of the number of parameters. This one has no parameters. This one has 4 parameters to take care of. And again, the order is very important because I need it to match exactly what I have here. Here's Melanie. She's in department basically called grad school. That's interesting. String titles director, and she makes a hell of a lot of money. But anyway, so the order is really, really important. And notice I'm setting it to, again, the different data members that we have in this class. Now, here's why I use this part. The variable name is different than the variable name here. You're probably looking at me like, well, why is that? And I get you. Using the word this accesses this object's variables. So when it has the word this and dot in front of it, it'll actually, if you type it up, it'll have that auto help feature. It'll give you name, department, title, salary. It also names some other things too. These, notice how they're brown, okay? These are the same items that we could have in, well, frankly, they're local variables that'll live and die inside this function. We've talked about that before as well. So these two are not the same. They are not the same variable at all. This one is the string name that's being passed in. The other one is department, title, and salary. Now, to be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of doing this, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to change it just slightly from what probably your book or whatever online resources you do, just slightly, so maybe this is a little bit more understandable. So bear with me for just a second. The code, the only thing that really changed is the name of the variables. And to be very honest with you, I'm not even crazy about the name of the variables. That you have S doesn't mean anything. T doesn't mean anything. Now, we happen to know it probably does because N probably means name, DP is probably department, T is probably... But I'm still not even crazy about this, but notice at least it's a little bit different than what we had before, and hopefully it makes a little bit more sense to you. I would prefer that you did it something in this fashion. The name should be better than what I'm giving here, but at least you understand it's pulling all those values. Remember, the right-hand side is done first, and then it's setting to the object's name. You're setting DP to the object's department, and so forth. So just a heads up on that minor change that I did for you there. But other than that, that's how easy this really is. Leave it at that.